Hi everyone, it's Stacey here from Printcess and Puddin. I just thought I'd do another quick video showing how to weed the patterned HTV. I've cut this design here on my Cricut Explore number 1 on just the HTV setting. So you can see there the designs cut there, ready to weed. And what I like to do is with my big scissors is to trim around my design so that I'm not wasting any of this gorgeous vinyl. It's amazing how many little bits and pieces you can get out of these offcuts. So just going as close as I can without going too silly to the design. I also find it weeds easier if you haven't got all of this excess that you're going to need to pull away. So there we go. There is my design. There's my offcuts that I can use for a different project. So there it is there. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick up the corner and pull that away, and you can see my design starting to appear. So because I trimmed that nice and close, those excess bits around the outside are coming away nice and easy. This design here is one of the new rainbow range, and I decided because it looks like zebra stripes, I would cut myself out a zebra. So this design here is going to go on a tote bag, and I'm probably going to use that for a Christmas gift because I've got the extra bits and pieces left over. If I wanted to personalize it, I could do that. Hopefully the glare's not too bad on this video. I apologise if it is. Just keeping an eye as you pull those bits out that any little tiny pieces are not lifting. I have got a little light board that I use sometimes when I'm weeding, but I find a nice overhead light is sufficient to help me see these weeding lines. So I usually always start too with the outside border, that way I'm less likely to make any mistakes. You can see here this little bit, I'm not sure if you can see, there's this little bit here that's lifting as I pull, and because I'm doing it nice and slow, I was able to see that bit as I was weeding. So because that bit's lifted up, I just put my weeding tool on it, hold it down, put my finger on there to press it back down on the backing sheet, and then keep pulling away that waste. So it's done it again there. You can just see this little corner. So with my weeding. Okay, so this little piece here had lifted up. The little corner hadn't quite cut properly. So I just flicked it with my weeding tool, held it down, and then I can begin pulling my waste out again. So whenever you're weeding anything, you want to do it nice and slow so that you don't end up stretching any bits that didn't cut quite right. So I'm going to stop the video there. I'm going to change the angle so that you can see from above what I'm working on. Okay, so I've just moved my camera so that you can see directly above what I'm weeding. So I've got a few little spots here in the eye that I'm just going to pull out. Another one there, another one here. And me see what else I've got. There must be some more here. Yeah. So I just use my weeding tool, pick up that corner. Some people like to use a pin or a straight weeding tool. I like one with a hook, a nice sharp point. That one there, this one here, and this one. Alright, so that looks to be pretty well right. You can see my zebra, if I can get the picture to look right. So now what I need to do is get some of the HTV transfer tape. And in Princess and Puddin land, that is this white one here with the nice thick plasticky finish. So what I like to do is trim this up so that it's not too massive against my project. Because this is adhesive, it can get a bit cumbersome when you're working with such a large piece. So I just take that off my backing, like so. And lay that down onto my design. Then using my squeegee tool, this one's one of the, I think it's a large cricket one, but I also have a bog scraper from Super Cheap that works just as well. So once I've rubbed that over the front really well, I've got it stuck to my desk, then I flip it over so that you can see the white side, and I give it another scrape over really well from the rear side, and then I can peel my backing off, leaving my design on the transfer tape. So from there, it's also a good time to just check and make sure that you haven't missed any bits and pieces. And right now it is ready to press onto a tote bag. So join me over at the heat press and we'll go from there. Okay, so I've got my transfer tape on there. I took my tote bag to a flat surface and laid out my design on there to make sure I was happy with the placement. Then I brought it over to my heat press and I'm getting ready now to press that design onto my tote bag. The tote bag is just a cheap one from Spotlight or Lincraft. I can't remember where I got it from. My heat press is one that I bought off eBay a couple of years ago. I don't ever muck around with the temperature on it too much. I honestly can't remember how to change the temperature. I just change the amount of time that I'm pressing my designs for. I think this one goes up to 240 degrees centigrade. Fahrenheit. Yeah, and I find that works for most things. If I'm pressing neoprene things like stubby coolers and stuff, I'll only give them a very short press, whereas shirts and things I give the full 16 seconds, I think I have it set to. So here we are. I did use an iron for probably 12 months before I splurged out and bought a heat press. So you can use this vinyl using an iron quite successfully. And my girls have got clothes that I did from them right back at the beginning that was pressed on with an iron. And it had they're still holding really, really well, and the colour is still just as good as when I first produced it. So let me just transfer you through to the fancy holder. And now that my heat press is heated up, I need another piece of baking paper. Let me steal this one from underneath. I always put baking paper, just regular baking paper, over the top, and then I press for 16 seconds. The one thing I don't like about this heat press is it beeps a lot. So if you're trying to do some stuff in the middle of the night while everyone's asleep, then yeah, it can be a bit irritating. So alright, when I'm happy with the amount of time that it's had, then I do a hot peel and I peel that transfer tape off. And remember, I can reuse this transfer tape. I think I've used mine up to 10 times. So I very carefully take that transfer tape and lay it sticky side up so I can put the backing back on. Then I put my baking paper back over the top of my design, swing that round and give it another, I don't know, 10-second press. I like to do that because it pushes down any of those little bits that may have lifted up when I've taken off my transfer tape. You know you've got a really good adhesion of the HTV when you can see the texture of the bag through the vinyl. So anyway, that's HTV from Princess and Puddin in a nutshell, and you can see there that that colour in that bag when that design is just so cool, and I can't wait to give it to a little girl for Christmas. I think she'll love putting all her goodies in there to take away in the car. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something.